right in the heart of England's green and pleasant land. In a queer little corner of London, a highly seasoned cocktail of a neighborhood, the ingredients of which, human and otherwise, are much too mixed, mysterious, various, and exotic to be analyzed. And why try? People come from all over the world to visit Soho, not to analyze, but to enjoy it. And Soho's inhabitants scratch out a living, and a pretty good living, too. They scratch pretty hard by catering to the visitors' appetites. Just over there, for instance, and this is by way of setting the scene, which is why I'm here, of course, is the Glass Mountain. And to your right is the Coq d'Hiver, which was owned by old Papa Fron until he died 3 days ago. Now you know where you are, in Soho. The name, by the way, they tell me, comes from an old English hunting call. Soho. I don't know how it was pronounced. But hunting is still practiced in these parts. Not, I'm afraid, as a sport, however. Who's the hunter? The man? Who's the hunted? The woman? Leave the answer up to you.
You're a brave girl, Louise.
I did all my crying when my father was ill.
Yes, he suffered a lot.
Yes.
Well, have you thought about how you're going to go on now?
Go on?
Yes. Carry on. Here, I mean.
The same as before. Francine will do the cooking. She's done it ever since my mother died. When we're very busy, she has her niece to help.
Well, I wasn't thinking just of the cooking. I was thinking of the service. Good heavens, you do the buying, you keep the accounts, you make out the bills. You can't do the waiting as well. You need a man.
I'll find someone.
Good waiters don't grow on trees. Look, little lady, we're good friends, aren't we?
You've been very kind.
Why, I've known you since you were a skinny little girl of 12 with long legs and your hair in pigtails.
Well, if you don't mind, I should get things started.
Surely to goodness you're not thinking of opening today of all days.
When my mother died, my father said to me, a family restaurant never closes as long as there is a single member of the family left.
Like I said, you're a brave girl.
Would you take another glass?
No. No, but I tell you what I will do. I'll find you a waiter. You know my man Lorenzo?
Yes.
He has a younger brother, Francesco. He was at the Bourguignon till they shut last month.
Would he come here? I could not give him the money he was getting at the Bourguignon, but...
If I ask him to come, he'll come.
There is something I must ask you before you go.
Anything, my dear, anything.
When my mother was alive, my father behaved, well, sensibly, rationally. I need not tell you. You knew them both.
Yes.
After she died, he was never entirely in command of himself. He had ideas, projects, things Maman never would have approved of. That club.
Yes, our club wasn't a great success.
So I have very little money to...
I know that. Do you want to borrow?
No, quite the contrary.
Did your papa perhaps tell you that he had borrowed money?
Did he?
Yes, I was able to accommodate him from time to time, so...
I was afraid of that. How much is it?
Well, it accumulated.
And you want it repaid. How much is it?
£2,000.
£2,000? But...
It's a lot of money, yes.
I haven't got it.
No, I suppose not, and I certainly
But I
wouldn't.
will repay you. Only how?
I suggest payments of £250 at a time every 3 months.
250 pounds. That should be possible.
Fine! Now, my dear girl, this is a business arrangement. But between us, nothing. Between us, you and me, something more human and friendly. Yes?
Oh, no. I'm afloat with coffee. But it was worth it. It was a lovely meal. There was only one thing wrong with it.
Wrong? Something wrong?
The bill. Just 10 shillings. Should have been 25 shillings at least. And then I'd be swindling you. If you behave like this, I shan't be able to come here anymore.
Next time it shall be different. I shall be giving you a proper bill. Possibly I shall overcharge you. Money is going to be important to me for the next few years.
Why? This place isn't big, but I should have thought it was a little gold mine.
Until my mother died, we were very well. The business, little money in the bank, no debts. After she died, my father took charge. Perhaps it was that he wished to distract himself. He had 1,000 projects, all cost money, and none made any. Our resources disappeared, and then he borrowed.
From the bank?
No, privately. When you were coming in just now, did you notice that big man crossing the street?
Fat man? Ugly?
That was Adalbert. Sam Adalbert. He owns the big place opposite. Father borrowed from him. We were talking about it just before you came in, and I told him I would pay it back.
Well, I hope he's going to be nice about it.
Nice? Yes, I think he wants to be too nice. When a man like that says, I can remember you when you were a skinny little girl with long legs and he's looking at you, and you know very well that that is not the way he's seeing you. Well, you know what I mean.
Who doesn't, darling?
It's not the money, it's not the restaurant. He'd like those, but he wants me.
But he's not attractive.
Attractive? He's
I apologize for bursting in on you, but there was no one downstairs, so I just came along up. This is Francesco Cecchi. I've explained how you're situated, and I'd be happy to start right in.
Mr. Adalbert, Miss Kay.
How do you do?
It is an important decision. I can hardly make it on the spur of the moment.
Agreed. No, what we had in mind was a trial period during which either of you could terminate the arrangement if it wasn't working satisfactorily. Perhaps 3 months.
If the arrangement suits, it will suit me. In these matters, it is necessary to be sure that we can work together.
All right. 3 months. Christine! 3 months. I thought you'd forgotten me.
Are you free?
Of course. Come here.
I've got something to show you. Oh, you're crowding them in. Business looks great.
We had to squeeze in 2 new tables. But my God, it has been a hard 3 months.
Now let's have a look at you. Oh, my dear Louise.
Christine, I've done it. Today I make my first repayment of £250 in cash in this room.
Why bother? Send a check.
Would be easy, I agree, but Adalbert is a strange man. He demands a little ceremony. A cognac in lieu of interest and hard cash over the table.
I wouldn't let him inside my house.
What is this?
Patience, Louise. Too late for an Easter bonnet, but a hat is a hat. No?
Oh, Christine. C'est trop mignon.
There's nothing like new hats. Louise, you look lovely.
I shall pay you for it.
No, you won't.
But in France we say it is bad luck to accept a new hat as a gift from anyone but your husband.
Then I'll accept 10 shillings, which is what I paid for that lovely lunch the last time I came here.
10 shillings? For a hat like this? All right, wait here, I'll fetch them.
Excuse me, I wish to check some of the prices.
Prices are on the menu. Those books are private. You have absolutely no right to look at them.
I have said I am sorry.
What if it happens again?
It will not happen again.
Donna Luisa.
Lassù.
Cosa stanno?
Cosa va? No.
The money's all there. Perhaps you'd care to check it.
Sometimes I ask myself, what is money? In olden times, when savages bartered with elephant tusks and gold beads, perhaps it meant something, but what is it now? Token. Piece of paper. Nothing.
It can be useful.
Exactly my point, my angel. You don't mind me calling you that, do you? I've known you since
I
you...
was a skinny little girl with long legs. Well?
Money is a discipline. So why do I accept it from you? I accept it from you because I believe people should pay their debts.
I also happen to believe that.
But the money itself is of no importance at all. You've got to believe that. Louisa,
Yes?
you make it very difficult for me.
You have some proposal?
I would gladly give up every penny that you owe me if you would marry me.
I see. You wish to buy me for £1,750.
That's a horrible way of putting it. Horrible.
French people are often accused of being realists. So let me be a realist. If I marry you, you get control of my restaurant and the money it brings in, and me as well. That seems to me to be a very shrewd bargain for a man who says he does not care about money.
I made you an honorable proposal which you rejected. You're entitled to do that, but I don't think you're entitled to suggest that my motives are mercenary. Money means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. Huh? If I'm unable to persuade you by argument, perhaps I can do so by demonstration.
And he burns it all?
There is a variety. The torturer likes variety. On one occasion, a few notes, and another, nearly all of it.
And you let him get away with it? Tell your lawyer. Tell the police.
He's not breaking the law.
He's doing something far worse. If you could see yourself, darling, you look 100.
I know.
At least tell him he won't stand it any longer.
But he'd like that. Any reaction at all he'd enjoy. But I will not oblige him. There's only a year to go. Christine, you're the only person I've told about this because I had to tell someone. And you will not tell anyone else.
I think I ought.
Promise?
You're a fool, but I promise. But I don't understand, Inspector. I never told a soul.
Of course you didn't, Miss Kay. But Soho's an interesting place. Well, interesting to us, I mean. We've always got somebody around those streets taking the temperature, so to speak. So we hear about things. Your friendship, for example, with Miss Louise. And things like old Fat Sam Hadlbert doing a bit of courting. Now, she owes him this money and hands it over, 250 smackers a time, and he burns it all.
Some of it.
Why?
Because she hurt him. He asked her to marry him, and she turned him down.
Oh, well, that does offer a sort of explanation, doesn't it?
Tell me, Inspector, how do the police come into it? I mean, the money belongs to him. He can do what he likes with it, can't he?
Oh, yes. But when I hear of someone doing something, what shall I call it? Something out of the ordinary,
It's vile and sadistic and outrageous.
Ah, now that's just the word I was looking for. Outrageous. Now, when I hear of someone doing something outrageous, I ask myself why. We all have to be psychologists these days, you know.
But it isn't a crime.
Right. So, all we can do is put in a report, which will be filed and forgotten, I expect. Well, thank you for coming along, Miss Kay.
What's this I hear?
I don't know. What have you heard?
That you've dismissed Francesco.
That is quite correct.
Why? Why?
Do I have to account to you for it when I choose to dismiss an employee?
When I go through all the trouble to find them for you, yes, I think you owe me an explanation.
Very well. I dismissed him because I found him prying into my private affairs. I'd warned him before to leave the cash desk alone. This morning I found him with the cash box open.
You mean he was stealing money?
He was counting it.
Is that a crime?
It is an impertinence.
Nonsense.
And it confirmed what I had already begun to suspect. That it was not out of the kindness of your heart that you had sent him to me. He was your spy.
Why should I want to spy on you?
To see if I was making enough money to pay back my debts, which I am.
Oh, the little success you've had has gone to your head.
Beginning to hurt you too, isn't it? You didn't think I could make it. You were beginning to look forward to the time when I should say, I'm sorry. Times are hard. Please, would you wait another month? What was I to do then? How was that scene to be played? Was I to go down on my knees?
Let me tell you this, my girl. With Francesco to help you, you could possibly have made it. But now you've got rid of him for no good reason, and the street shall hear about it. The Checkies are a well-known family, and I can promise you this, you won't get another waiter to help.
I placed a notice in the newsagent's window this morning. I already have an application. The man sounds very suitable.
Think you're stronger than me. Maybe the time has come to give you a little lesson in manners. One way or another. You're going to learn to do what I tell you. Now, just to begin with,
I came and asked you first, Miss.
I am glad to see you. The first thing you can do is show this gentleman out.
Well, now perhaps you'll listen to me. You mustn't meet Adalbert again.
But you forget. I still have 4 more payments to make. One is due tomorrow night.
Well, I'm not going to allow you to see him alone. You must arrange for Paul to be there.
I can't do that. Paul is my employee. But if you would agree to be there...
Yes, of course.
Only you mustn't interfere.
I'm not making any promises this time.
Shall we get on with the business?
business. Always a distraction to pleasure. The fruits of another 3 months' toil, Louise. 3 months of rising at dawn to go to market, working through the heat of the day, waiting up until the last tedious customer has taken himself off. We know, don't we?
It's not really a very clever trick, is it? But why on earth do you do it?
Christine,
Money, Miss Kay, as I have often said to Louise, is a discipline. Maybe I do it to discipline myself.
Well, if that's what it is, wouldn't it be less disgusting if you did it at home? If you had any sense of decency at all, you'd take a check and stop behaving like a horrible great baby.
Ah. Well, now, you know, I think that's a good notion. The outsider often has the clearer view. Maybe I will take a check. I calculate the balance owing at just £750, right, Louise?
Yes, that's right.
Then I will take a check for it. Now.
You had agreed for payment by installments.
I did, but your friend's eloquence has persuaded me to change my mind.
But I didn't mean
And
that.
I'm sure you'll find some way of raising the money, because if you don't, it will mean your pretty little restaurant being sold up for the benefit of your main creditor, me.
I'll find the money.
I'm sure you will. And I can assure you that when my solicitor receives your check, he won't use it to light his cigarette.
All right, hold him there. Hold him. Hold him. Hold him. I'm charging you with being in possession of forged treasury notes. There will be other charges to follow. Your money, Miss Fosney? 250 smackers. I think you'll find it's all there, but you better count it.
All there? You mean he didn't burn any of it?
Mr. Sam Adelbert, burn real money, not on your life. These are forgeries, and not very good ones at that. You never try to pass these. A batch that went wrong in the printing, eh?
Protest most positively. I had no idea.
Save it for the jury. Take him down,
One
Sergeant.
moment. This money's not mine, it's his.
Yes, I suppose it is. Oh, well. It'll pay for his defense.
I too happen to believe that people should pay their debts.
Well, as we mentioned at the start, Soho is still a great place for hunting, or as they used to call it, the chase. There's that old question, remember? Who's the chaser, who's the chased? The hunter and the hunted can change places according to the nature of the sport. And we all get caught, don't we? One way or another.